Hello, my name is Jon Scamman, and I'm the new CEO at CPAS, which is an Anglican mission agency. I was at college with your vicar Ian many moons ago, and I've also recently joined the Council of Trinity College, Bristol. And so somebody somewhere thought it would be a good idea for me to send in a midweek thought for you at St. Matthew's. I'll leave you to be the judge of that. But I wonder if you've ever given yourself to a hope, which is ultimately disappointed. As a child, I hoped to be a cowboy when I grew up, but that is, as yet, an unfulfilled aspiration. As a sports fan, I long for Scotland to win the Six Nations in rugby, and for England to win the World Cup in football, and for Liverpool to win the Premiership. And for most of my life, those hopes have been largely disappointed. Now, those examples are fairly trivial because, unlike Bill Shankly, I don't believe that football is more important than life or death. But we've all been marked by hopes which have disappointed. Hopes for maybe a promotion at work, or for a property that we really wanted to rent or buy that got away. Maybe hopes for a happy and a lifelong marriage, or for a loved one to get better from a major illness. We've all been marked by hopes which have disappointed. But Romans chapter 5 in the Bible tells us about a hope that does not disappoint. And Paul writes that we know that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us. I love the idea of a hope that does not disappoint. With this hope set before us, it can transform how we meet the hardships of life. Hardship without purpose is meaningless and crushing. So much of the anger that we see in society today is a result of powerless people being on the receiving end of decisions that they didn't make, where their hardship seems so needless and the world so heartless. But when there is a purpose to our suffering, it makes all the difference in the world. The pain of childbirth leads to a new life being in the world, or the pain of endurance training leads to completing the marathon. When there's a goal at the end of it all, it gives purpose to the pain. And that's where Romans chapter 5 takes us. For a people that have an eternal hope set before us, our approach to hardship can be different. As Paul says, suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope. Now, my dad used to work in the steel industry in America. When I was a kid, we had the most amazing Boy Scout trip to see around his steel mill. Health and safety would never allow it today. But I remember as a small boy watching in awe as scrap metal was melted down in huge electric furnaces and turned into steel. The hope that God works into us is not a hope that simply says, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's a divine hope where God takes all of the scrap metal of our life experiences and melts them down to make something new, which has hope running all the way through it. This is a hope that does not disappoint, a hope that is forged in the fires of adversity. And in the midst of these trials and challenges, God pours his love into our hearts by his Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a seal, a deposit, a down payment given to secure us, to guarantee that this hope will be realized. The Holy Spirit pours God's love into our hearts so that when we can't hold on to God, we know that he holds on to us. So I pray that today, whatever you are going through, you would know the hope of Jesus, a hope that does not disappoint.